What's up, everyone? Been a while since I made a video. I've been super busy with stuff. So last year we were out of town about every other week racing. I got a good friend of mine that races out there and I crew for him all week. So we're in Salt Lake, but we race up there in Idaho at Firebird Raceway. So I was super busy there. And over the winter, I had another project I started on. I got a friend who has a 78 C10. It's got its own airbags. Another friend did a whole bunch of work on that, did a whole back half on it. So I swapped the engine out. I had an old engine in it because it originally had a diesel. Swapped that out for a 350. I spent a long time working on that truck all winter, but I really couldn't video that one because of the location. It was in a small garage and it's mostly dark. So I'm showing you the Nova here right now because I'm going to go over all the projects I have lined up for this summer, which I have a lot of projects. I don't know how I'm going to get them all done. Probably I'll end up with none of them done and even more projects by the end of the year. Well, let's start with this Nova here. So we lost our racetrack in 2018 and I got, well, two race cars. One runs, and one doesn't. And I thought, man, I really don't need two race cars. So this Nova is 72 Nova. It's set up right now for a big block. Let me see if I can open the hood. I threw my back out the other day. So I got a big block just stuffed in there. It's a non-running big block. It's a 454. I just used it to put the mounts in and change the front coil springs and do some other stuff. It also has a Turbo 400 in it. Again, just to put the mounts in and make sure I got the correct mount locations and everything. So this little 72 Nova, this has been a race car since the early 80s, and it was pretty gutted out. It's got like a 1980s roll bar in here that obviously needs to be cut out and thrown away. I never got around to it. It didn't have the instrument cluster in here, just had a piece of tin which looked like crap, so I snagged this instrument cluster off of eBay some time ago. I just like that look better. Obviously it's not installed, it's just sitting there, but that's as far as I ever got with that. Got a bunch of unfinished projects, so I tried to dump this thing off. I don't want to give it away because there's absolutely no rust on this thing. Door's still shut, everything's good. It's almost done. It just needs everything else. Engine, trans, rear end. You know, it's got a 12-bolt rear end in it, which I think has 488 gears in it. I don't remember. It's been too long. I've had this car for over 30 years. So anyway, long story short, I thought I'm just going to sell this thing. I don't want to give it away, but obviously I know it needs some work. I figured, you know, $7,000, $7,500 I thought would be a fair price. The frame rails, everything's like brand new on this car. There's no rust. Well, no one wants it for that price, so that's fine. I don't really care. I'm not going to give it away, so I figure, what the hell? I got enough stuff sitting around here. I'll just build 454 for it, and obviously I know how to build transmission, so I'll just build the transmission. I'm sure I got a drive shaft in here, so I'll make it a running car and I'll just double the price, so that's okay. So I'm going to try to make that a video project. Oh, you see a little relay board right there. That's something I just whipped together. I'm going to put that in the Camaro. Why? Well, because it's sitting on a trailer and it needs the wiring upgraded. So I've raced this car for about 30 years, and the wiring in it is fine. It works just great. But you know, when you build a car and you install a component, then one more component, then one more component, and you wire each one of them individually, eventually it looks like a rat's nest under the dash. Well, that's what this looks like. It works just fine, but if I were to blow a fuse or have an issue, that would not be fun trying to fix it at the racetrack, because you know all the wires are random colors and mostly red and black. So what a pain in my butt. And while I was at the racetrack, man, I see guys with beautiful wiring all the time. Oh, it looks really, really nice. So I go, shoot, man, I can do that. I mean, why don't I do that? It's sitting on a trailer. I got plenty of time. Why don't I do it? So I built a little relay board. Yes, obviously you can put more relays and stuff in here. It don't really matter. But on my car, I only have this many anyways. There's a fuel pump, water pump, fan, And this right here, solid state relay, will be for a trans brake. And then of course you got your fuses, you got your power coming in from your switch, then going out to your component. I actually built this one and I color coded the wires to GM spec. So now then, that's the biggest thing about my Camaro. I wanted this thing rewired. I want to also, that if something goes out, if the fuel pump goes out, I know it's this circuit right here, right? So anyway, I'll be rewiring the Camaro, and I will video that. I'm gonna do the no-no. I'm gonna video what it looks like right now, because it looks like crap up under the dash, but that's fine. I'm sure a lot of guys race cars look the same way. Shoot, probably your daily drivers. It's like, say you add a component here one day and another one the next day. I got a fuse and a relay on every component, but they're just not all put together. Something else I need to do. This race car does run 10s, so I need a trans shield. So I just got this the other day. I better get it put on. I haven't raced this car. It's only ran 10s once, which is kind of annoying because that time I went out and had a broken converter. Oh, there's the broken converter right there. This isn't the converter I ran, but this one is one I broke, which that was my bad. That was my bad. That's what happens when you lose an engine. It will toast your converter. So guys, if you ever lose an engine and it stops abruptly, plan on swapping out your converter. So yeah, so that's two projects. I got the Nova. I'm gonna cut the roll bar out of it. Yes, I got a Sawzall. That roll bar is gone. I'm gonna cut that out. I'm gonna put an engine trans in this thing. I'll take y'all on the journey with me. I will end up selling this car at some point. Like I said, I try to give it away for $7,000 or $7,500. No one wants it. Fine, I'll put an engine trans in it, double the price. That's okay with me. Camaro, I'm gonna rewire it. Trans shield. I also need to change the oil pan on this car. I don't know if I can show you under here. Let's see. It has the kick out. You can't see it. This has the kick out oil pan on it. Yeah, you really can't see. I'm not getting up under there. So the problem with the kick out oil pan is my headers are really close to the engine, so I cannot put an engine diaper on. I can't even change the oil. I mean, to get the oil filter out of this thing is a pain in my butt, because I unscrew it and you have to turn it sideways just to fit between the oil pan and the headers, and spill oil all over the headers, which is very annoying. So that stupid oil pan, it sure did look cool on the engine stand. So y'all need to think about that when you buy those oil pans and put it in your car, how easy it's going to be to change either the starter or the oil filter. So yeah, I got to pull the engine out to change the oil pan, and while the engine's out, the trans is dropped, and I put the trans shield on, putting the oil pan on, then an oil or a engine diaper, because yeah, most tracks are requiring engine diapers. So this will be another project. Here's the project right here I've been working on. This is the GM350 crate engine. I still got to go put this on the run-up stand. I left the timing cover off on purpose because I'm going to try to start this. If you watch my videos, I'm going to line this timing chain up dot to dot. I'll put a distributor in there and try to start it. And when it doesn't start, I'll put it 12 and 12. I'll try to start it again. I just wanted to show how that works and why, but I do want to get this engine fired up and running, because I guess I'm selling this engine here for a friend, and kind of tough to sell an engine without anyone hearing it run. So that's another project. Another project I got is there's a 4L80E transmission. I got to go through that, which I'm not going through that. I got a trans shop that can do that for me. So, because yeah, right, when am I going to do it? That's going to go on my 88 dually right there, which is the other project I got going. Whoops, don't look at that yet. That engine right there, that is a Gen 5 454, and I will be turning that into a 496, either a 489 or a 496. It really depends on how far it needs to be bored. I'm not going to bore it 60 over if it doesn't need to be 60 over. So if you take a 454, bore it 60 over, and put a 4 1/4 inch stroke crank in it, you'll have a 496. If it only goes 30 over, then it'll be a 489. So that's probably the closest one I have to. That'll probably be my next project, actually, just to get it done, because I got everything I need for that. I got the crank, rods, heads. I got everything I need. A roller, hydraulic roller cam. I just got to go get a board so I know what pistons to put in it. Yeah, so there's that. This thing right here, I just picked this up yesterday or day before. See this monstrosity? Look at this thing. Before I tell you what it is, you guys try to figure out what it is and tell me down in the comments. It don't really matter what you say because no one's gonna guess this. I already know. Some of you guys might know. Give it a good walk around. This is exactly, well, not exactly how I got it, but almost. What does that say right there? Hopefully it focuses because I cannot see. Any guesses? Look, it has headers on it. Yeah, I guess you could call those headers. And look at this weird water pump. And this water pump, if you look down in there, has two thermostats. Give up. This is a tall deck 366. So they made two tall deck blocks. One is a 366 and one is 427. Obviously the 427 is the most desirable. So why did I get that? Well, a friend was selling it and he had a lot of tire kickers. One guy told him he wanted it. He's coming down to get it. He waited all day long. The guy never showed up, so he called me up and said, hey, you want this tall deck? I was like, sure, I'll take it. Why would I take it? Well, let me show you. Let me walk to my messy garage because I take stuff out and don't put it away. I was helping someone else clean out a warehouse and I can't dig this crank out because it's freaking heavy. But check this crankshaft right here out. So this crankshaft was laying on the floor in that warehouse, and the guy said whoever can identify this crankshaft can have it. So there's a lot of guys sitting there guessing what they thought it was, from Ford to Chrysler to they didn't even know. That's well, the first thing I noticed is it has a big block snout on it with two keyways. That tells me it's a blower crank. They said, okay, you get the crank, you can have it. So well, let me tell you what else I see about this crank. It's funny that it has two keyways, big block snout. This is a cast crankshaft. Didn't know they put cast crankshafts in blower motors, but I guess someone can do that. Cast crankshaft right here, you can't see it, it's barely stamped in there. It does say 454-C. It also says 4.99. That couldn't be. So I mic'd the mains. The mains are big block mains. I mic'd the rod journals. Big block rod journals are 220. These mic out at 210. So that kind of threw me for a second there. Yeah, it's got small rod journals. That's fine. And you see, it's got this Mallory metal in here. So this is an internally balanced crankshaft, and I mic'd the throws on it. That's a 4.5-inch stroke crank. Yeah, you heard right. That's a 4.5 stroke crank. You put that into a 454, punch that baby out, you'll have a 525 cubic inch motor. So I thought, what am I going to do with that? Well, it was free, so I took it. You know, why not? I need more crap in my garage. So I figured, man, that would make a great tow engine. I thought, man, I'd rather have a 525 versus a 496. Problem is, I have everything I need for the 496 except pistons. And I just got to get a board to get the pistons. With that other crankshaft, I got to start all over. So I thought, hell, why don't I just get me a tall deck block, and I'll turn this into a 525 just for the heck of it. So I talked to my machinist yesterday because I don't know a lot about tall deck big blocks. And this has something like a 3.9 something inch bore and a 3 shoot, I forget the stroke. I'll put it up here in the comments somewhere. So I asked my machinist, like, how far can we punch this thing out? He's like, well, it depends. It really depends on how thick the cylinder walls are, but let's say we punch it out to 4 1/4, just like a regular 454. I don't know if it can go that far. I'm just going to use that number for an example. So if I do that, I toss my 4.5-inch stroke crank in there, I'm gonna need at least a 6.5-inch rod, a 6.55, a 6.5 something inch rod, and pistons, and then I can't bore it any larger than 4.125. So I don't know. It would be a neat engine, but because this is a tall deck, they don't make. I know they make some single plane intakes for a tall deck block, but if you want a dual plane intake, you have to use intake spacers, which I guess would be fine. If I built a, if I put a 4.5-inch stroke crank in here, I don't know if I'd want to make it a race motor or a tow engine. I don't really need 525 cubic inches to go racing. I mean, I'm happy with my small blocks. Like I said, that's just a 406 right there, and it runs 10 already. So I don't know, that engine right there. My bad, I'm coughing today. This engine right here, after talking to my machinist, it might be more hassle than it's worth. So I think I'm gonna scrape all this crappy grease off and take this monstrosity. This is the front motor mount. By the way, these engines came, oh, this mount here, I don't know if I pointed to it. These engines came in like industrial heavy duty trucks, like buses and dump trucks. These things, and the dual thermostats, these things will run all day long. They make a gob of power. They make so much power, and they're so reliable. But again, what am I going to do with it? I don't know. So that's a 366 big block. I'm just going to clean it all up. I'm going to put this on a run-up stand. I'm going to see if I can just get it fired up and running, and then kind of go from there. I might end up selling it. If no one buys it, I might pull it apart and part it out. I don't really know. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. I had grand ideas with it until I talked to my machinist. I was like, well, if I can't punch it any bigger than that, I don't really know what I'm going to use it for anyway. So yeah, that's a project. So yeah, I got my dually I got to do with my big block and my 4L80E. I've got the 366 big block project. Got to rewire the Camaro. I don't have to rewire the Camaro, but I want to because, well, I can. It's just sitting here anyway. Pull the engine, change oil pan. The Nova is one that really bothers me. I really wanted that gone. I don't want to give this away, but I wanted it gone because I obviously need the space. So yeah, it's kind of, yeah, that's what we got going on there. Got to get this going. I really need to get this project underway here. I got to get this one finished up. This guy gave me this last year, had me check it out. So let's get it checked out, get it running, make sure it runs, and then sell it. So I kind of feel bad. This has been on the back burner, but he's not in a hurry, and it's fine. He's a good guy. He's a friend of mine. So that's what I got there. I still have all this stuff I got to experiment with. Oh, I picked up 3 more HEIs I was going to play with on this. I was playing with vacuum canisters, and very good information right there. But that, my very favorite distributor that I have curved and set up perfectly for my dually project, I stuffed that into the 78 C10 project just to get him on the road, and it runs so good. I told him, man, you got to find another distributor. I'll build him another distributor and take that one back. That was one of my favorite HEIs. You know how you get your favorite. Well, that was my favorite. I'm sure there's another project here that I really need to do that I've completely forgot about, but actually this one. But this engine here is a 396 that has been to the machine shop. Let's see if I can read that. Right there. I snagged this from the wrecking yard a few years ago. I saw that tag on it. I thought, man, I gotta have that. This tag is Art Sheetal or something. It says the rods are 10 and the mains are 10. The bore is 30 over. I can't see a date on that tag, but that's a 402. So this was a complete engine in a truck. I scouted it out one day. I found it. I went back the next day with tools, and someone snagged the balancer off it. Like, what the heck? But whatever. I mean, that balancer had to come off anyway, so you can change the seal and all that stuff, which I can put a balancer on it. Big deal. It's just an internally balanced big block, the 402. So that's a project. I I don't know what's in it or anything, but it sure is full of grease. So I was going to scrape that thing down. I was going to put that on a run-up stand just to see if I could get it running. I just want to hear what it sounds like. Shoot, you know what? That's already built. If that actually runs, I might put that in a Nova just to get that engine out of my way. Huh, I might just do that. I just thought of that idea because I do have more rods and pistons for a big block. I got a lot of engine parts right there are pistons for a 30 over, I think, 454, and I have some ported, I think they're 049 heads. I got to go over there and look. I don't think they're 781. I think they're 049 heads. I haven't looked over there for a while. I got some, and I got some heads that are ported. I mean, holy cow! Someone spent a long time grinding those heads. They're somewhere in this general vicinity of right there. So I was gonna build that engine and stick it in here, but shoot, I might put that 402 in here. We'll see how it runs. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I've had going on. So I haven't made any videos lately because of that. I hate the fact we lost our racetrack and I can't just sit around anymore. So a friend of mine called me up a year and a half or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, and said, hey, I'm gonna be racing out of town and I need some help. You want to help me? I was like, heck yeah. I didn't exactly say it like that, but yeah, I was all over that. So we've been going up to, like I say, Firebird Raceway, and it does take up a lot of time. So when I come home, I have a lot of other stuff I got to get done. I do run my own business, so you know, money don't grow on trees, and it's been awful scarce lately. So I got to take business so I can get it. This year started out pretty good, so that's good for me. We're going to go out of town this coming week up to Firebird for the not the night fires, the igniter. So that's the Loaders Divisional 6 race. Gonna be a lot of races. We'll be up there for a full week, so I'm gonna be really busy up there. And yeah, that's kind of what I got going on. But I thought I'd just update everybody to my projects I've got. Y'all already know the projects, and I actually had a few guys message me, hey, how about the 489 project? How far are you on it? I'm nowhere. I have not made any progress whatsoever. I haven't even been out in the garage. I've had so much other stuff going on, like I say. So I'm gonna get on these. I keep saying I will, but it's just really hard. I'm just a single dude. Well, I'm not a single dude, I'm married, but I got so much crap going on that it's hard to do it. I'll squeeze the time in this year because I really want to get out here and do this. So that's where we are. That's what we got. And I even have a project with the wife's car. Change the brakes and put the slotted and drilled rotors on there. She doesn't know this, but she's always wanted the chrome wheels on there, which they haven't really been in the budget. But you know what? Baby doll wants chrome wheels. Baby doll gonna get chrome wheels. So I got those on order. They should be here probably as soon as I go out of town. Then I get the snow tires off. She keeps saying, get those snow tires off. So I don't want to tell her I got wheels. I tell her, baby, I'm just too busy. So when I get the chrome wheels, I'll do that. So that's what I got that going on there. So yep, that's what we got. And I'll keep y'all posted as soon as I start one of these projects, but it will be on video. Hopefully I won't get halfway through the project then remember to turn the camera on. It'll be too late. So yeah, that's what I got. Talk to y'all later. I'm out.